Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
I'm just playing. You can't hear me? Oh, what a wait. You didn't even think I was muted or anything? You weren't going to say anything?
I knew you weren't muted. You were just being Herb. Herb being
Oh.
Herb. I'm used to it by now.
That's just sad. You know what? Another wonderful night
Yes.
of the Herb and Rodg podcast.
Yes.
More Herb than Rodg, of course. Or
yeah.
We did have a poll a couple weeks ago where...
Which one?
Well, where we were trying to figure out what your new nickname was.
Oh, gosh. I thought we already discussed this.
Podcaster Rodg versus Rodgerick. Rodgerick won 70% of the vote, Rodg.
Okay, so is that just what you're going to call me from now on? Is that what it's going to be like? Are we
I
going
don't know if I can keep that up, but that was pretty interesting. I did not think it would win such a landslide like that.
Gotcha.
So let's say hello to everybody who's jumping in. Cat, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Lady Alpha. The Alpha Pools have joined in.
Yep.
Randy's either giving us a thumbs up or the finger. I feel like he's giving you the thumbs up and me the finger.
Randy's saying, hey, hit that like button, man. We appreciate it.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you for joining us, Randy.
Yep. My beautiful wife.
Brittany, how do you pronounce that? Brittany.
Really?
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Mike, what's up, Mike? Mike came over to the house this weekend, so we'll show you a little bit of that here just coming up soon. So, let me just tell you, when you have a celebrity in your house, like, it's definitely humbling. You know, nobody wanted to talk to me. No, it doesn't. Right. Like, people kept moving me out of the way, so Mike could have to. They kept going and getting him drinks. He had to sign autographs. It was just crazy. It was a nut house, but it's Mike. He's very deserving. So
yes.
Yeah, Britt already did not like your comment, so
she posted that before. She already posted that.
What's up, Win? Always good to see you. Appreciate you always supporting the channel. So the one comment in there we haven't posted yet. We do have to set the stage. Had Alabama, Auburn, number 2 versus number 1.
Yeah.
At Alabama this past weekend. Invited some friends over to watch the game, right? Which, by the way, had another poll about that. And
you kind of jinxed us.
I guess I did. And the poll said the same thing. I said, did we lose to Auburn because we had Auburn people over at the house? 72% said, yes, man, never again.
Yeah.
So
because it's not that, but then after you lose the game, you have to listen to that in person. It's just like, it's a lot to take in. Because I know if we had won, I would have been golden too. But
I'll say this. We didn't get that from the people that were here. They were very gracious people. Yeah, there was no overboard. There was nothing crazy about it. If it weren't for that game, I would have every single one of them back over. But the fact that we lost, but no, I have to give kudos to everybody who was. And let me show you real quick. Set the stage. Oh, did I play the last one first? Bam Bar and the watch party. Yep. So there's the group.
Hey.
Right. To the left, right, you got Dave, Auburn fan. He was the ringer. They brought in one more extra at the last minute, so they had the numbers.
They had to.
Yep. So then there's Tommy, Sadie. Sadie, you would have saw on our post game along with Bo, who's sitting right behind her on the couch.
Yes.
Yep. And my love life, Brittany. Some ugly dude sitting next to her in a hat. It's probably good that his face is shaded out. Of course, Mike back there, and then Destiny.
Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to the whole squad. Yep. Bo, everybody.
Then, of course, everybody watching the game. Oh, I don't know how that got it.
What is that?
A lot of water. There was a lot of water drunk. A lot of it that night. All different sorts of flavors of water. Right?
Yes,
and then,
yes.
Of course, the most important person at the party,
Big Mike.
Yep.
Yes.
Came to check it out. So you saw one of the people in the picture post her, War Eagle.
Yes.
You saw her on the post game.
Wait, did you just say that out loud?
No, I said Portland. I had a little
oh my gosh, we're gonna get canceled for you saying that out loud. Oh,
well, it's about to get worse, Raj.
Yes.
Hey guys, just wanted to jump in and say War Eagle. What a great win. Can't wait for the rematch in Nelville on March 8th. And by the way, just want to remind you of our starting lineup since y'all forgot. So who beat y'all? Oh, Chris Moore, Janai Broom, Denver Jones, Dylan Cardwell. Just want to make sure y'all remember all this. And Miles Kelly. Oh, and don't forget about CBM off the bench. Oh, and Todd. Just make sure y'all got their names right this time. War Eagle, bye!
Rightfully rubbing it in our faces after.
Who was that?
Victories.
Who was that?
What? Really? Yeah. Really? She's going to come. See, you're talking that trash because you don't live close. She's going to come over and beat me up.
Hey, that's on you. You got to take that. Shout out to Sadie. We appreciate the video. In all seriousness, we appreciate the video.
Oh, like Britt said, we would never do this for football. I would never survive. So,
well, you would go crazy over a football game. That's why.
Yes. So, yeah. And then here's the other half of the squad that's got something to say for you, Rodg. Yep. Destiny, good to see you tonight, Destiny. And here she comes.
Auburn won the game Saturday. Say War Eagle.
My Eagle.
So they will have to say. Now I know what everybody's saying. Like the wives got the videos in. Why didn't the husbands? Well, there's two reasons. A, the wives know way more about the sport than the husbands do.
Yeah.
And B, the wives are way better looking than the husbands. And that was pretty much the case for everybody that came over, including both of your hosts here together. So that's why you get videos of them and not videos of us. So, but shout out to them.
Yes. We appreciate it.
You know, let me see. Where are you going? There's like a different little comment going on. There's a whole other conversation going on in the chat. So I wanted to give at least.
Good evening, Boo. Thank you for joining us.
Have you guys been having more deep and loving conversations?
Oh my gosh! Ever since the last episode where I actually discussed that, yes, the discussions have gotten much more deeper and much more loving. So yes, it definitely worked in my favor.
I just got a text. Bo is at basketball practice. That's why he's missing tonight. Oh yeah, so that actually worked in your favor. Yeah, all right. So
yeah,
she'll be back, just not for that game.
Yeah,
I won't be for that game. Like so, but you guys are always welcome. Like I said, it's a great group. So
yeah, awesome.
Oh, Miss Herb and Miss Rodg. Yo. Where are you going, Lady Alpha? Yep, great show, guys. See y'all next week. Yeah. And apparently it's all weekend. No, I swallowed something went down the wrong pipe. So if I die, Rodg, I just need you to carry on the show.
Oh, I can do that. Okay. And if anything happens, I appreciate you. I always love you, but you know, things happen.
Show must go on. Yeah.
You gotta move on.
I want you to actually change the graphic mid-show to just be like the Rodg and Rodg show. If something happens to me,
I like. Even if nothing does happen to you, I kind of like the name of that show.
You should go change it anyway. Just roll with it.
The transfer portal is open in spring. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, set them straight, Sadie.
Sadie.
Yep. I told her Sadie knows her stuff, so we were just.
She does.
Yep. And yes, layoff. It was a very good time. Very good time. So love it. Yep, that was for the Destiny video. So.
Oh yeah.
And of course, you had a great time. Everybody was just chanting. Like there was one point, a random chant of Mike broke out. It was just going, Mike.
Honestly, I thought that would happen when he first got there. Like it's like his aura. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's like he glows.
Dude, there was a line outside the door, just waiting to see if they could get it. So I should have sold tickets. So, Sadie, I know you'll hold it down. I'll go to my parents' house and you guys can take over the house, so I don't jinx us again. So. And now there's another conversation going on about working out and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yes. But we would travel to go to Mike, man. Mike's the greatest. So in the big scheme of things, you know, you're happy it's basketball, of course, because one loss, you know, doesn't kill you. But on the other scheme, it just seemed like Auburn was the much better team in that game.
It was from the jump, from the opening tip-off, and then from the opening couple of baskets. All the bigs were hitting threes. They were on point. They were in sync together. They played defense. And speaking of their defense, let's be honest. I saw a post where someone said, like, we just shot horribly from three. their defense forced us to take a lot of bad shots. We took a lot of uncontested threes. We just couldn't hit them. But the shots that we didn't take that weren't threes, that's the regular field goals, we took a lot of bad shots. There were some ugly shots that we took, but that was again kudos to their defense for kind of forcing us and putting us in those type of predicaments. But it sucks. They outplayed us. We mentioned this Saturday, they out-physicaled us.
They beat us going to the hole. They kind of pushed us off the three-point line at times. And then, when we got to the hole, I just don't feel like we were very strong going to the hole. You got to absorb a little contact when you go there. So, and there's also there's an article out that I think we might be talking about on Thursday as well.
What's that?
But she said Mark Sears just hasn't been, what this team needs this year. What do you think about that? Like, just playing wise, he hasn't been,
I feel like ever since he sat out or was benched, during the LSU game, I feel like he has been a little more aggressive, even better at passing. He's been, for the most part, what we needed him to be, but there have been some games when in this past Saturday when we played Auburn where there's a few turnovers, a couple of bad shots, and I feel like there's a lot of times when he kind of forces himself to try to get to the lane, and it's a lot of moving around and nudging and just trying to weave himself into the lane, and then when he finally gets up there, he gets a shot block. So I just feel like sometimes he has trouble creating his own shots, unless it's like one of the uncontested threes where he shoots from 50 feet out or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't want to agree with that 100%, but there are some games where that is visible.
Yeah. It might seem a little anachronistic, but it just seems like maybe a mid-range jumper or two in here would help this team out, because once you get past that first lane, we're like, with that first line of defense, we're like, let's get all the way to the hoop, and we're not getting it. Because this was one of our best games as far as we had like 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's usually like a good 5 minutes for us.
Yeah.
So we played our best as far as that, but there was a sequence, Rodg, where we had, I think Sears took a long 3, then Youngblood took a long 3, and then Holloway took a long 3. Holloway hit it, and everyone was cheering. I was like, those were 3 bad shots. Those were terrible.
Let me ask you a question about that sequence. Does that sequence kind of show how desperate we were to hit a 3, or was that just okay?
Basically, I think the first one, the clock was running down a little bit, but the second one, it was just far out. And then even Holloway, it was just, like I said, it goes down, but those weren't good shots. So.
Right.
I thought Feilan wasn't starting because he was banged up.
I thought it was due to injury. But I think what she's saying
go ahead.
No, I think what she's saying is like maybe going forward he'll be starting, but
he started off the year he was starting. I like Feilan starting next to Sears, and I like Youngblood coming off the bench with that second unit with Holloway and with,
I agree. I like the Feilan. I like the Feilan Sears combo because you got a good 3-point shooter, and then you got a good combination of scoring right there. You got somebody that can shoot the 3, and then you got somebody that can drive to the hole. Yeah. So I'm good with that. Feilan has a little floater, kind of like Holloway. He's not the best 3-point shooter. Mark Sears, obviously, we know he's a straight up 3-point shooter. So I like that combination.
I do too. I'd rather move that, and I like that second unit coming in with that too as well. And they did, and that was one of my other points too. By the way, Broom is just he settles the Auburn defense. The offense down whenever they need, and that was a huge key. Whenever they need tough bucket or things aren't going well, which isn't often, they dump it down to him. We don't have that. We give it back out to Sears, and we hope that he can be a little bit under control going to the basket, and it just doesn't happen that often.
So let me ask you this question.
You can ask it. I don't know if I'll answer it.
Was this game a perfect example of you live by the 3, die by the 3, or was it just more like they just played better defense?
Well, both for sure. They definitely played better.
Those kind of intertwine a little bit,
and they kind of pushed us into longer 3s, and we don't have an answer for that, so we just kept going after it. So it was both. But I don't. Would everybody say, "Oh, we just missed a lot of 3s. If we make those in the next game, we'll get." No, did you see the 3s we were taking? Like they were at a desperate. Those 3, they were launching, and that's why I don't like saying that when people try to break down the game, or they just look at box scores and go, "Oh, if we hit more 3s." Well, that's true with every game. But if you take a lot of bad 3s, you can't just expect in the next game you're going to hit more of those bad 3s. Yeah. If we shoot the same type of shots in the second game that we did in this first game, we're going to lose, and we're going to shoot the same percentage.
Yeah.
So that's not an answer. Their defense was much, much better than ours. And like I said, they're just steadier on offense than we are. They have people they can say, okay, we need a bucket, give it to Broom. So Ken, I give more credit to their defense. I just give more credit to their defense. We just didn't really have an answer for it. We just
there was some, obviously there was a lot of hype surrounding the game, but it came down to their defense. I agree with you, Herb, on that one. They just forced us to take a lot of ill-advised shots, put us in some really, really awkward situations, and we found ourselves in a hole that we just couldn't climb out of at the end of the day. We finally caught up when it was 68-68, but then they got the lead. They got the lead again, and then towards the end of the game, they just pulled away. So it's unfortunate. Now, one thing is it's unfortunate is because we really wanted to win this game because we know we have to play at Auburn next, and then there's a chance we might have to see them in the SEC tournament. And even on top of playing Auburn again, we still have that tough stretch of games that we'll probably discuss here in a second.
Starting up next.
Starting tomorrow.
Missouri,
Missouri,
yep.
At
and
Tennessee.
Then Kentucky, yep. Well, Kentucky's next, and then Tennessee, Yep. So, and I know we beat Kentucky once at Kentucky, but that doesn't mean anything for the next game.
Doesn't mean anything. Ole Miss beat us in Tuscaloosa, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Yep. So, no, it's a very tough stretch. So, the bracketology right now still has us as a 1 seed.
I mean, even after the loss, I assume we'd still be in 1 seed in whatever region we fall into. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's just where it is. That's we still, they had it as of today, us still as a 1 seed. Auburn, clearly the number 1 overall seed. Bama in there, Duke and Florida. Florida, honestly, and they have to come to us, I think, into the year, but they're looking better than we are kind of at the moment. So that's very fluid. I don't think Alabama falls past maybe like the 3 line if things get disastrous.
You mean ranking wise or what?
Yeah. No, in seeding wise.
I'd say 2. Yeah, I would say 2. I say we'll stay around 2. I think, and I mentioned this Saturday, I think it's really going to depend on what happens in the SEC tournament, because when you get into the SEC tournament, it's going to be brutal. Yeah. I feel like that's just one of those tournaments where you can see a number of different teams kind of come out of the SEC. So that's where a lot's going to be on the line at.
Yeah. And Mike, at the beginning of this year, when we first started talking about it, I wish I'd stuck with my prediction because I thought all Alabama and Auburn would both win the games on the road versus at home, and I wish I'd stuck with that. We predicted at the beginning of the year, Rodg, that one of the big teams will not win the SEC tournament because you're almost at a point where, like, let's say you're Auburn and you go in, so that's where Sadie's going. When you go into the tournament, you don't have anything to gain if you're one of the top.
Yeah.
And so that's something we talked about on Talking Bama on Thursday night, 7:30. We mentioned that. That's why we think one of the lesser teams will win it, because the bigger teams will be like, the rest is probably more important to me than winning like 2 or 3 games and 3 or 4 nights, whatever you end up playing in.
Yeah.
Because like to her point, Auburn, it won't matter.
No, it won't.
Once they get to the SEC tournament, their seed will be locked in. So there'll be very little movement through the first 4.
That's true. I was speaking more of just as a showing type of perspective. Yeah. I just wanted us to put out a good showing in the SEC tournament. Obviously, there's a good chance we can win. There's a good chance Auburn win. There's a good chance maybe for Kentucky, whatever the case may be. But I just want to see us play well in the SEC tournament going into March. So, but yeah, the seeds are going to be decided. So hopefully we end up with the number 1 seed. But again, to our point earlier, this brutal stretch that we have coming up is going to be very, very imperative that we kind of survive this. What do you see as, and how many games do you think will drop over the next 2 weeks, whatever the case may be?
It feels like a couple.
I'd say I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna be optimistic, hopefully optimistic, and say 2.
The same things. Next 4. They've got Arkansas home, Georgia at home, Ole Miss at home, then at Kentucky, at Texas A&M, and then home against Bama.
So the at Kentucky game, I think that's going to be tough.
Texas A&M is number 7 in the country, and they weathered the storm when Wade Taylor was out for a
Kentucky
while. So I think people are slipping on them.
Kentucky A&M, and then of course when we play there at Auburn.
Is 4-2 for us, Sadie, or for y'all? I don't know. Auburn plays steadier. I don't see them.
I think they only dropped one of these. I think Auburn only dropped one.
I hope it's to us, but I don't know. Like I said, Broom is just the great equalizer. Because he can hit outside, because he's so physical down low. That's what you get. I would say that. I would agree.
I like Sadie in the comments. Here. We got to get Sadie on before the next game.
All right, but she can't storm off on us like she did last time.
Sadie did. Saturday night, she kind of stormed off because I couldn't name all of Auburn players.
Remember all the Auburn players, yeah. So tell Sadie she can handle our sense of humor, then yeah.
Sadie, you got to get on the show before the next game, before we come to Auburn and y'all's little arena up there. We need to get you on the show. And yes, that was a jab by me saying little arena. Yeah. Yes.
She said it was the water. I can't click on that code, but she said she had a lot of water before she came on, and she just.
I actually no. I'm looking at the comments. I see water. Spelled differently. Maybe that's German, but it was water. Yeah.
And by the way, I did want to show this for 2 seconds. We won't play the whole clip, but
folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It's Rod from the Herb and Rodg podcast here. Hope everybody's been enjoying their Valentine's Day weekend, whether it was yesterday, whether you're doing something today, whether you're doing something on Sunday, whatever the case may be, spending time with your loved ones. If you don't have a Valentine's out there, fall in love with the Herb and Rodg podcast, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I guess you guys are wondering what I'm here today for. Obviously, we have a big game of hoops going on at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, Coleman Coliseum. The Iron Bowl of hoops, some might call it. Auburn versus Alabama. I'm here to present to you 5 reasons on why the Iron Bowl of basketball is bigger and better than the Iron Bowl of football.
All right, folks, you got to go to our channel to watch the rest of it. But Rodg lays out 5 reasons why. Please go to our channel, check it out. Mike, those things that people kept bringing you every time you went like this, and somebody brought you one, those were the drinks. Yeah, so
I didn't think Mike would even have to ask. I thought he would just be presented. Okay,
he does it. Yeah, it's like when you're at a table and like your drink gets half full and somebody fills it. That was him. So yes, lots of water.
One last comment about the game is that after we lost, it sucked to see Auburn doing the crane kick gesture on the court when they were walking off the court. And I'm pleading to Alabama. We have to go beat them at their arena when this game is to be played next.
Yeah.
I hated seeing those supercilious looks on their face when they walked out of Coleman Coliseum. They were glowing. They were doing the crane kicks, everything. We have to beat them next game. Okay.
Agreed. Look at Kat. Kat got spoiled. Oh. Remember, Kat's out in Colorado now, so she
moved all my favorite things that I miss from home in Louisiana. Herb, do you cook for Britt?
No, I wanted her to still love me. That would be disastrous, Raj. Disastrous.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Okay, you suggested we'll handle it. You
know what? We'll make a bet, but we won't certify the bet until after the game. After we see the results.
Wow, what kind of people are we all of a sudden?
No, Sadie, let's figure it out. Us three will figure it out, whatever the bet is, and we'll come to some sort of terms.
Nope. Randy's always there to just kick you in your face. I cook for all my ladies all the time. Yeah.
Randy hasn't said anything like 20 minutes. I cook for my ladies all the time.
Well, we're not as great as you, Randy. So, geez, kick a brother Wise down. All right, so that kind of, like we said, that finishes off with basketball. Like I said, we've got a tough stretch coming up. Didn't realize the season is just almost done. Like
it's
feels
short,
like we
man.
flew
It's short.
through it. Yeah. So like you said, at Missouri, got Kentucky at home, Mississippi State at home, at Tennessee, then Florida, then at Auburn. It's a brutal stretch coming up here. So. And of course, all the ladies love but everybody loves Randy anyway, though. So
Randy's that guy.
We can't compete.
Could you imagine us hanging out with Randy and Big Mike at the same time? What would we?
Might as well be invisible. Yeah. I mean, we'd probably just drive the car and drop them off, and then come back and get them. Like that'd be about as.
Here you go, sir. Yeah, have fun at the game, sir.
Yeah, I could see them being like, "Hey guys, don't stand too close to us, please. You're kind of ruining the whole vibe." So I could see that. So, Road to 3. Yep. What are we at? 267. We haven't made a good push about it.
We're at 2.
That's kind of the problem.
That's a good point. When we were on the road to 200, we really pushed it. We put a lot of stuff out there on social media. We haven't quite done that for 300. But Kat, we are glad that you did bring this up. We are at 267. Was it 267?
Yep.
I checked earlier. It was 266 or 267. So we just need a few more just to get 300. It's our goal to hit that by the end of this month. Excuse me. I know it can be done. We both know it can be done. We just need a little help. We're going to get on it starting tonight, starting tomorrow. As Herb mentioned last week on the podcast, we're working on putting out more content. whether some of it's basketball, football, whatever the case may be. We're going to get into some other ventures. We heard, we definitely want to start talking about NFL. Obviously, the season's over, but that's something down the line we'll get into. But
and look out every Saturday for Rodg's top 5 of
the
week too as well.
Yes,
so he's going to be posting that every week. So it should have some fun.
So. And shout out to Big Mike.
I think this is Randy inviting us over to come eat, is what he's saying here.
Okay. And shout out to Big Mike. Big Mike is an integral part of the Herb and Rodg podcast. So he's whenever we get to 300, Big Mike's a part of that too. So shout out to Big Mike.
Mm-hmm. So this is something that somebody with a lot of numbers says to somebody who doesn't have much to make them feel a little bit better. Yeah. Randy's like, I've got like a million, but you guys feel good about your 267. So
yeah, he does make a good point because
he does.
When the number's high, it's cool, but I also like people to sub, and I also want people to comment and engage and actually watch the videos and say, hey, I like that. That was cool. They recommend it to other people. That's what kind of makes us feel better. So
yeah. No, and I'm giving him a hard time because I love Randy. So
yeah.
The harder time I give you, the more I love you. So if I don't ever give you a hard time about anything, sorry.
Sure. Never gives me a hard time.
Well, that should tell you something. All right, so we want to. This is a family show. There are kids watching.
My kids are asleep.
Okay. All right, transitioning out of basketball, a segment we actually weren't even thinking about before this started. Right.
But we felt like it was necessary to touch on that. So
definitely necessary. Big Ten and SEC are coming to the table now and basically saying they both deserve 4 guaranteed spots in the playoff. Raj, your initial thought, Raj, you agree or disagree with them?
I don't quite agree. I kind of feel
disagree?
I mean, guaranteed to a certain extent.
Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I mean, oh gosh, you brought me to this crap. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew it.
So, Raj, you're taking the side.
I'm not.
You're taking the side of you don't think that the Big Ten and the SEC should get guaranteed bids of 4. So go ahead and present your argument.
How many teams did we get? How many teams did the SEC get in this year? I know the answer. Okay. If we have 4 teams that can actually make it in, then that's fine. But I don't think you should force a 4th team to get in there just automatically. Had Alabama played better and won the Oklahoma game and maybe another game, we would have been in there. By forcing 4 teams in for each conference, I kind of feel like you're saying, we have 2 or 3 that are really good, but come on, you got to throw this other guy in there right quick. But I mean, if you look at the Big Ten, they had Oregon, Ohio State. Who else am I missing? Penn State. And was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, so who would have been like, they're hypothetically speaking, their fourth person in? I'm not looking at their standings or whatever. So I don't need that. And I also feel like by forcing 4 teams in, then this is going to have other conferences saying, okay, well, we need to have more teams in it. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to lead to a bigger playoff. And I don't want a bigger playoff. I didn't really want it expanding out of 4. 8, I would have been okay.
Indiana, I'm sorry. Indiana already made it. So under this proposal, Rodg, the only thing you're doing is adding either Alabama, Ole Miss, or South Carolina to this last playoff and taking out SMU. I'm fully in favor of that. We watched that first round. Yep. It was terrible.
Right.
Let's stop rewarding a weak ACC and a weak Big 12 and the Boise States of the world and get another one of the big guys in there.
But those other teams would have gotten in had we not dropped those games. Like, hypothetically speaking, let's just say we would have been that 4th team in. What if we went in there and lost?
That's fine. We couldn't have done any worse than the other teams that went in there. So I'm fine with that. But you can't you got to take out the SMUs of the world. I'm sorry, who played a weak schedule and lost to the only good games they played, and get in one of the big guys. So I'm fully in favor of this. The SEC and the Big Ten are the big dogs of the sport right now. They fully deserve to have the spot. So I can see why plus they're going to bring in more revenue. I just don't want to be labeled as the 4th team that just, hey, we're going to, as a pity thing, we're just going to go ahead and let them in too. So I feel like the teams that should have got in, and it is what it is. So we didn't make it. South Carolina missed out. Ole Miss missed out. We dropped a few games that we probably shouldn't have.
And I also feel like, and if this is to take place, wouldn't that mean, what is it, 14 or 16 teams now in the playoffs?
No, I think even if you stay at 12, they're saying they each get 8 of those.
Okay.
So they each get 4. So, like I said, it might lead to expansion, which I'm against, but I'm all for rewarding the tougher conferences with more. Like nobody wants extra Big 12 teams in there. Nobody wants extra ACC teams in there. Boise States of the world are kind of one-hit wonders as far as that go. Nobody wants more of that. So, yeah, Raj, I'm sorry, but I'm fully in favor of that happening and them getting more teams.
But don't you think this is eventually going to lead to us having more teams into the tournament, into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think eventually it will, but
that's. And then what happens.
I'm a big SEC guy, so
yeah, no, I am too. And I fully understand that. But I just think this is going to get to a point to where 10 years from now we're going to have like a March Madness type of 64-team college football playoff, and then people are going to start saying, you know what, I'm the 32nd team in the field, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to go try to play 5 or 6 games to win a national title. I'm a first-round draft pick. I'm just going to go ahead and sit out. That's where it's going to go down the line eventually. I guess we'll see the results of this, because this could, if this takes place, it could happen next year, 2026, right? That's what they're trying to aim
I don't think you get to that desperate. I think you still stay at 12 or 14, but you just guarantee the 2 biggest conferences, the biggest shares of the pie. They're going to bring in the most money for you, and they're going to have the best team. So, I mean, we can't judge this. We can always bring in an independent third party to judge this. So we'll just see what somebody else has to say.
I'm having flashbacks from last year. Go ahead.
Rod, your viewpoint sucks. This victory has to go to Herb.
Oh, what
you could have gave her more video time than that. I mean, she just you could tell you forced Jody to say that.
I would never. That's just kind of mean. We can go ahead and look at the starting off the year right, buddy.
All right, there's the scoreboard. I have to find my wig. I don't know what it is. You know what? You should have put the picture up here with Royal wearing it. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I gotta find that one again to send it. So let's see what. Oh man.
We have some comments about this too.
So why is it always live house? Because you really don't like me? That doesn't even make sense at all, Mike. At all. Remember Josh Pay warned about the same. Oh yeah, because I think they're probably going after more games and money rather than going after.
It's always going to be about money.
Yeah. So, and I missed this one, so I'm not sure which one that was. So, dang, the championship game should go away if the league goes. Yeah, I think that too. I mean, it's almost becoming detrimental to certain teams anyway, and people are going to care less and less about it. So nobody should guarantee. I think the only reason I push back on that is I don't want ACC. I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter. ACC and Big 12 aren't going to get more in anyway if you start going away without the guarantee. So we're going to probably see 3 versus 6.
Wait, so
what?
Sadie agrees with me. That's all I'm gonna say.
She's also an Auburn fan, so take that for what it's worth.
She can stay over there, but she can still agree with me.
All right, Sadie, you're now officially invited to Rodg's house for the next.
Yes, I'm a Sadie fan. I've always been a Sadie fan. Sadie's cool.
This game's will replace the SEC championship game. Yep, I can see that. Yeah, and I thought they'd already said that was definitely happening. So to 16, but maybe I missed that one. So
you really lost the debate. Okay, all right. Britt, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You don't like people setting up other people for stuff like, maybe setting up people with bad questions and then texting their spouse to come tune into the program at certain times? You've never done that?
It's 8:35 already? Wow.
That's what you're going with. Wow. So, okay. Brad is playing there. Yeah. For anybody that missed Brad might have to come back to judge some debate. So, Rodg questioned the validity of the debates last year because he was getting smoked every single week.
Were the debates last year fair?
Yes, definitely.
Herb?
Yeah, we got equal screen time, we got equal time, and we had independent judges. It'd be different if I was out here judging the debates, but we had an independent judge.
What if mom's watching? She's watching you live right now.
Well, she couldn't get dad's TV to work, so she might not be. She FaceTimed me before we got on the air.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe.
Oh
not.
my goodness.
My camera giving the TV deals. Yep. I agree with that. Especially your best players are going to continue to go to those conferences. Like you said, the TV deals will continue to go to those conferences. So you're good. I'm just wondering when they finally go into like the super conference deal. So
yes.
And just kind of cut out everybody
crazy.
else. Yeah. So all right.
At the end of the day, we really just want the 2025 season to hurry up and get here.
Basically, no matter how many of the playoff games and how many of that happen. So, no more characters, please. Go ahead.
That time, yeah. I gotta think of some more characters. So I'm gonna get on Amazon after this and see what I can conjure up.
Come up with. This emoji was stabbing, but it turns out it's a cough emoji. Well, that's fine. We can continue to find more independent judges that aren't characters. So Rodg stop feeling a certain way.
Okay.
But so because we're biased, we won't put Alabama in there. But how do you think the playoff last year would have changed if you take out SMU and you put in like an Ole Miss?
Why didn't you say because we're biased. So who did SMU remind me? Who did SMU to play for the playoff again with their first game?
Was that Penn State? Yeah, and they got smoked.
Was it
3 interceptions? Yeah, like 3 interceptions.
I think it would have been, to answer your question, I think it would have been more competitive. Just depends on the team. I think Ole Miss could have beat Penn State, and they could have traveled a little farther in the playoff. Thing about teams like SMU and Boise State. Boise State was a one-trick pony, and we knew that they got exposed when it came down to it. I guess the real question is, did SMU deserve it? I mean, did they?
No. I think it was a weird scheduling quirk where they got added to the conference.
Yeah.
And they missed, I think, the top 4 or 5 teams in the conference they didn't have to play in the regular season. So then they came up to the one good team they had to play, and they lost to Clemson.
Yeah.
That's basically what got them second. But
yeah,
regular season, I think, failed us all for sure.
Yeah. I think overall in the playoff I was surprised by a few of the wins in there and some of the way the teams played, but I mean overall for the first year of the 12-team playoff, it wasn't bad. There were some other teams I would rather see in, of course us and some other SEC teams, but it wasn't bad. I mean, Ohio State won the whole thing. When you look at their team throughout the season, the way they played, they had pretty much the best roster in college football last year. Right. Good wide receiver, good defense, good front four. Will Howard played really, really well last year. So overall, pretty much the best team in college football won. I did not see Notre Dame get in there. I'll admit that.
Well, it's funny you say that because Randy's like the Notre Dame most embarrassing loss.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I never thought I'd see the day when we said the ACC would be weak in basketball.
Yeah.
That's one of those you grew up on, and now they've just kind of been surpassed by the SEC.
Well, Duke is still playing pretty well. Duke is basically holding up the ACC because
I was going to say because who's the second best team in the ACC right now?
I can't tell you without looking. I just remember that was it 1 or 2 weeks ago when it was like ACC versus Duke versus North Carolina. I was like, it's not that hype anymore. Like
nobody cared about that game.
Nobody cares about it.
I mean, they tried to make us care about it, but I remember doing other stuff. Yeah. So Louisville is second in the conference. They're the 25th ranked team. Somehow Clemson is third, I guess because of percentages. They're tied in record, and Clemson is 18. So you got Duke, and then Louisville and Clemson, and then nothing. So I guess we're just going to bring up
the top 25.
No, and North Carolina, that win looks worse and worse because North Carolina is like on the bubble at this point.
So I don't think they'll get in, which would be a surprise.
Yep, that's it. And let me see.
And keep in mind, they made it to what we beat them in the Sweet 16 last year.
Yep.
To not even making the tournament again. I don't know if they'll make the tournament, but by the way they look,
will they make the NIT? The not in tournament.
Not in tournament.
All right, let's get you to the ACC just since we're talking about it real quick. Duke, Clemson, and Louisville, the only locks to make the tournament right now.
Okay.
And then, so the way ESPN does it is locks, should be in, and work to do. There is no should be in teams. So you go from locks to people who better hope for their best. And that's SMU, Wake Forest, North Carolina. North Carolina has a 28% chance right now. They're putting that to make the team. So
do you agree with Randy's comment that that Cooper Flagg is the best player in the country?
I don't know. I saw Broom up close, so yeah. I'm more impressed with him right now. than I am with Cooper Flagg.
That's kind of my sentiments too. I have not watched a Duke game this year. I've seen highlights of Cooper Flagg, knew about him in high school and all that type of stuff. So he's lived up to the hype. I'll say that. But defensively, I think Johnny Broome is a better player there. Offensively, I think I might give it to Flagg. Again, I have to watch.
I think
Flagg
he's more dynamic at times, for sure. But it's definitely a 2-horse race. I don't think anybody else is even close. So.
Yeah, there's no third horse.
And somebody definitely getting fired at North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
And Sadie, we know you're going to start side with Broome. So, and
hey, what's his first name again?
No, she got mad at me last time, so I'm just going to say Broome.
Shaunae Broome.
You don't live close enough for her to come over and beat you up. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's why you
say stuff. Yeah.
Sadie, Herb told me to do that.
Thanks, Rodg. That's wrong. We can always go. You clicked it too. You can always count on the dad jokes from Mike. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you, sir. And that was my point on it. Auburn definitely has to play better week in and week out.
I agree with Sadie there. Yes, Auburn has played tougher games and they have a tougher schedule. So yes, I agree there.
So, plus, I can't ever see Randy ever saying that an Auburn player is anything. It's tough enough for us to mention. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have plenty of water after this show to wash that taste out of my mouth.
Yes.
So. All right, Raj, the last little transition, something we stole from Bandom Standard this week, but wanted to give you a chance. You made a video detailing what you thought having Grubb come back to Alabama.
Yes.
What that would mean for them. That's because you're so far away. He's loving this. But like I said, if you go over to his house for the next game, we'll see.
I gave my props to Sadie's cool. She knows what she's talking about. Good analysis. She's got the numbers. She's got the fingers going. She's in the comments. Sadie's there. She's that.
I like this comment better. I will definitely sanitize with whiskey.
Yeah.
Did want to give you a chance to kind of reiterate that and talk a little bit about the offense before we got out of here tonight. So first off, in the shortened version, because you know how long-winded you are. What did you think about Grubb coming back to Alabama?
I was excited for it because he and Coach DeBoer, obviously they know each other, they coach together. So I think the synchrony is going to be there. I think just as far as the play calling is going to be elevated. I think we're also going to be giving Coach Grubb, a new quarterback, obviously, to work with. I think had it been Milroe for another year, it would have been real interesting to see what Grubb could do with Milroe. But now we're having a fresh product.
Or would they have pushed him out of the door?
Or push him out of the door, yeah. But now Grubb has a fresh product at quarterback, so I'm excited about that. I remember watching them at Washington, what they did with Penix and that offense, and Romeo Ndunze and those guys. They look phenomenal. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with it, actually. I know some people were like, well, he didn't want to be here in the first place. I feel like it wasn't necessarily him. There were other people around him that didn't want to be there.
Who are those other people, Raj?
It's already 8:45. Wow. So I think
you keep watching the time a lot. Is something going on that I need to know about?
Once he got let go of the Seahawks, nobody picked him up, and he was there for a couple of weeks. Like, well, you want to keep on going to STK and these nice places to eat. It's gonna need a job. So I can always call Coach DeBoer, and he's gonna take me back. So that's what happened.
Thank you.
Let's be honest, and I don't think Coach Grubb is going to be at Alabama for like 10 years. We recycle out of our coordinators. I think he'll be here a few years, long enough to, help us win a national title, build up his resume, and then see what where he can go from there. But to answer your initial question, I was fine with it.
And say, I don't know if you're talking about y'all's or ours. But,
what's that? Excited about the
competition, yeah.
I think theirs too. I mean, they got Deuce Knight. Look, Sadie, I knew his name. They had Deuce Knight and I think Jackson Arnold.
You know what? I'm going to leave and just let you and Sadie do the show. Okay? I'm headed out. All right?
Well, I mean, I think they're excited about the QB competition. We're excited about it. I think there's going to be a QB competition in Georgia. Coach Hayes and Randy have already mentioned that, so there might be a little QB competition there. I think everybody's excited about it. So,
Rod, your viewpoint sucks. This victory has to go to Herb.
Oh, how did that get played? No. Something must be going wrong.
Yeah, right.
So she said, so that kind of leads into one of the questions that have been asked, Rog. Everybody's weighing in on it.
Yep.
right? Nobody really knows until next fall. I don't think we'll know specifically out of the spring game. I think after the spring game, you probably lose one more quarterback.
Yep.
Be honest, and that gives you a little more clarity.
Yes.
Who do you think? Way too early to tell. Who do you think wins the quarterback competition for Alabama?
I think it's going to be Ty Simpson. And I want to say one thing is he's got his experience. He's been at Bama for a few years. He's played in the offense. He's played with Coach DeBoer in his first year in backup roles, but he's been there. Excuse me.
Cat's picking Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's not going to win the job. And the thing about it is, even if Ty Simpson starts, I think Keelan Russell has, and I made a video about Keelan Russell too. I think Keelan Russell has to get that second spot because of just his profile and where he's coming from and where he's projected to be in the next few years. And another thing that will help out both quarterbacks is our first 3 games at Florida State, Louisiana Monroe, and then we host Wisconsin. You should see both quarterbacks in all 3 games.
Yeah.
Florida State won 2 games.
So when you're saying that, are you saying Mac is gone, has no chance, and he should transfer? The reason why I say
I hate to say that because
back to my original point, right?
Yeah.
If I'm Ty Simpson or Austin Mack and I don't win the competition, like I gotta go.
Yeah.
Because you don't. If one of them wins it, Russell's winning it the year after. If he doesn't win it this year,
the only reason I would say Mac would stay is best case scenarios. Ty starts. He has a phenomenal Mac Jones 2020-esque year. He goes to the NFL. Then Russell takes the keys over, and then maybe Mac backs him up. But then again, if you're Mac, you're kind of like, I'm going to graduate.
Yeah, you're going to wait under Russell.
You're kind of going into Cam Rising kind of phase.
There you go. You're going to start
to answer your question,
32.
I think Mac ends up transferring.
And this is what I said.
Yeah,
but Kat, I also think if it's Ty, Mac leaves. That's what I think on both of them. If Ty Simpson wins the job, right, you're Mac, you're maybe the backup, but like you just said, Russell's going to get some play. They got to give him something.
Yes.
So if you're Mac and you go into next year as the third quarterback, there's no sense in staying.
Exactly.
Like, I don't see it at the quarterback position. No.
Yeah, I think Mac will be gone after spring. So yeah, you let Ty start. And again, I mentioned the first 3 games we play. Florida State won 2 games last year. Florida State's not going to go to the playoff next year. They're not going to be great next year. We should easily win that game. Easily win Louisiana Monroe.
Don't say that ever again. Please don't ever say it again.
Sorry.
We had too many easier win games last year. No,
you're right. And we should be able to handle Wisconsin at home. Then we have a bye. Then we have Georgia. So in all 3 of those games, you should see your 1 and 2 quarterbacks each game. So that way you're giving Russell playing time early on.
Yeah.
And you're letting him get even more familiar with the offense and how things are in the SEC. And he'll get more playing time throughout the season. And then, just like I said, if Ty Simpson has a good year, he can go to NFL, and then Russell steps up. Yeah. And even if Mac leaves, I mean, we're always going to be recruiting quarterback. We'll have quarterbacks in the quarterback room, so we'll be fine there.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. But I do kind of want to see what happens. The spring game is going to be interesting. That portal opening right after the spring game will be very interesting. So
yeah. I do hope that Russell can put on a little size on him. He's not the biggest guy. He's pretty small as far as the quarterback's concerned, but I mean, he's got the arm, he's got the accuracy, he's got the talent, so he's got all the skills to be successful. But I wouldn't mind him putting a few pounds. But
yeah, and I think that's what it is. And you got to get caught up to the speed of the game jumps at every level.
Yes,
so I think it does take him a minute, even with the talent, to get up to speed with this next one.
Yep.
So. You know what? I got a better one now. Okay.
What?
Well, I had a question, but now I got another question.
Come on.
No. Well, no, not for this, but for the last segment. Now you're not going to like this, but if everyone sticks around, it'll be interesting. Okay. So, like I said, I'm still in these questions from the Bama Standard.
Yep.
Does Alabama have a 1,000-yard rusher this year?
That's a very good question. Jam ended up with.
Jam wasn't even but Jam is your guy for next year.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
698 was Jam last year, but
okay,
that's because because Milroe was 966.
Well, yeah, I knew that. I'm gonna say no because I think we're gonna be more pass heavy, and I do think we get the tight ends involved a little bit, but we will run the ball. So I'll
Which
say
tight end?
900. I'll say 900, around 900 to end up with.
I said no, and this
plus
was
we're
the
going to use
reason I
multiple
gave.
backs.
Yep. This is the reason why I gave on the show the other night. I said it won't be the talent of the backs. I said it will be the carries will get spread out. I do think we will be more balanced offense and we will run more clearly than we did last year. But I just think that we have too much depth at running back. We picked up another running back.
We've been doing that for a long time. I mean, there was that one year like 2015 where Derrick Henry was just running crazy all over everybody. But for the most part, we usually have two good backs back there. So they'll split it up. So
I think we've got two starters like Hill and Jam. But we've got, we picked up the Washington kid, the muscle hamster. From Louisiana.
Jalen Washington, I think.
Yep.
We got Deer. So we got some names out there. We'll always have a good running back room. But I think
Deer coming in too. He's going to get some carries. So AK Deer.
I literally just said that.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Okay.
I was looking at my notes.
I think Jam ends up around 900.
Did you mention AK Deer yet or no? Sorry, no. Yeah, Mike. I said, I don't think anybody will get enough carries to get there.
Yeah.
So here's the fun one then. Will we have 1,000-yard? Who will it be?
The Germinator. I think it's going to be the Germinator.
How are you going to pick the same person as me?
The Germinator. He led the team in receptions last year. Those last 3 or 4 games, he really showed out. He was reliable. He ended up as the most reliable receiver towards the end of the season. I think Ryan Williams had received all the hype early on, and he received a lot of targets, especially the Tennessee game where he had 19, 20 targets. I think that was absolutely ridiculous. But I think the Germinator is going to lead the team in receiving. I'm not sure about reception, but yards. I would go with the Germinator, and Ryan Williams is going to be right there.
I will never, ever believe that. So the interesting thing about this was they had Alabama as Georgia's biggest game, but they had Tennessee as Alabama's biggest game. On that same article,
Alabama is Georgia's biggest. Okay, well,
so under the Georgia's list, so they gave every
Tennessee though.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, but Georgia will always have a shot. Kirby, no matter what's happening, every quarterback could leave the program right before the Bama game.
Yep,
and Kirby will recruit a good enough defense to keep them in it and figure out what's going on.
Yes,
so I'll never believe plus Alabama. It's weird that we've set our expectations. Technically, we should be taking a step back next year, given everything. But we want us to take a step forward. So it's
we need to.
So are you giving Horton as your other one? I'm fully. So like I said and just like I said to Brandy, Georgia always has a shot. On Sunday night on Talking Bama, I said Germinator as my number one.
Yeah.
I said maybe if you get 2, it's Hollywood. So. Are you going with Horton as your third? Or are you going with one of like the Hale, Cole Adams?
I think Cole Adams and Hale have good seasons, but nowhere near 1,000 yards. So
that's what I think.
I'm wondering
if that's what I'm wondering if that's what Mike says. But I think the offense will be balanced and the passes will get spread around. But I think we'll have a chance. It's interesting that I think there's wide receiver depth, but I don't, like with running back depth, I think it's going to take away from their yardage, but the wide receiver depth, I think they'll be fine. And he's going Horton. So
Horton, here's a who.
Yeah.
You remember that, Dr. Seuss? All right, my bad.
All right. So I guess we're kind of right at the end. I think that was the end. You got my QB1, you got my rush, you got wide receiver. You expect big things from your boy Cuevas this year?
Yes, I do think we use the tight ends a little bit more.
Somebody give you a pity laugh.
More than we did last year. And keep in mind, for anybody who watched Bama football last year, whenever the tight ends were used and whenever they got the ball, they were open and they could score. It was just a matter of when Jalen Miller actually threw them the ball. So hopefully with the quarterback we have coming up in 2025, yes, the tight ends will be utilized even more.
Yep.
How can you tell I have littles? The Horton years of who?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I think he would have known that one without that, but still.
Yeah, they don't even read Dr. Seuss books yet. They haven't got that far, but we're still on the other stuff.
Yeah, Rodg's still working on reading them himself, and then he'll have to teach it to them. So I have 2 of them for you tonight, Rodg. I got an easy one and a tough one. Okay, right. As far as your work, play, live, ditch. I got the fun one that I came up with, and I'm just going to stick with it.
Okay.
But this is going to be out of nowhere. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
For those of you who've never watched, like people who just watched tonight and just happen to subscribe tonight, Work means who you want to work with 40 hours a week. Live is who you want to live next to. Play is, hey, who you want to go out with Friday nights. And ditch is who you would send straight to voicemail. So this is from our youth, Raj.
Oh, wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh, that would have been a good one, too.
All right, I'm going to ditch Steven Seagal. He just looks like he just does not want to be bothered by anybody. So I don't even want to have to deal with that.
I think this was about me insulting you. I apologize for nothing.
I'll probably work with Chuck Norris. He seems like he's probably, I want to say he's the oldest out of all of them. He seems like the most serious. Still like laid back, could be kind of funny, but I'd work with Chuck Norris. We'd get some cool things done. Oh, this is a tough one. My neighbor is going to be probably Arnold Schwarzenegger. I live next to Arnold. We could kick back, just chill out. Maybe I don't even know if he drinks beer. I don't know what he does. We can work out. Hey, when you go into the gym, I'll ride with you to the gym because I'm not wasting my gas. You got all the money.
Dang.
And then I'm gonna hang out. And then I'm hanging out with Sly. Me and Sly are gonna kick back. We can talk about some old Rocky movies. Go have a beer, whatever the case is. So yeah, but I'm definitely ditching.
So you're saying you love the name Sylvester, right? Because that's one of your favorite people is Sylvester. Is that what you're saying?
That is true. Herb's middle name is Sylvester. So yes.
What single play the Blues of Memphis?
Oh wow,
that is not a story I thought you would come up with. Yes. All right, Rod, you ready for the one that's she's Swayze? Cat always has some favorite. How's Terry and Arnold doing, Cat? How's he doing? Have you called him yet? All right, Raj, the one that might get you in trouble. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Sadie, Tommy,
okay,
Destiny, and Bo. A real quick update. Terry and Arnold is good.
All right.
And yes, sir, you can, Randy. You can, and I will answer to it. Hey, look, they might not be watching now, so you might be okay. And there's not a chance that we'll send this. Oh, Sadie's there. Oops.
All right, so.
And for those who are watching, Sadie is on here. You saw her video. Tommy's her husband. And then Destiny saw her video on here. And Bo is her husband.
I'm going to catch some slack for saying this, but I know Bo and Destiny have some children.
Okay.
Somebody's got to watch the kids.
Okay.
So I have to ditch Destiny. Destiny, if you're watching, I'm sorry. But you might be at home just chilling with the kid. That's my own reasoning. I have nothing against you. Sadie is gonna be my neighbor. That way we could probably watch games together, go back and forth. I could yell over the fence at her like, "Oh, Auburn sucks," and she could say, "Roll Tide, nothing, blah 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 blah." We could just go back and forth about that. I'm gonna work with Tommy. I just don't know why yet. I just like Tommy. Tommy seems like a real calm, laid back, relaxed type of guy. I think would be create a smooth work atmosphere.
Tommy will be the on time to work every time, handle all this stuff. Like, hey, Rod, you were supposed to do 1 before 2, not 2 before 1 kind of guy.
And Tommy just got that cool voice, just like, hey, man, it's all good. Like, no problems with Tommy.
Yeah. You know, that's how I met Tommy, was at work.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hang out with Bo, and then we're going to go drink some nice quality old fashions.
Oh, there you go. Say water. Yeah.
High quality old fashions. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, Destiny, I have nothing against you. This is just the way the dominoes fell. It is what it is. But
Sadie liked your picking, so
yes.
No chance that we send this clip to Destiny so she has anything to say about it either. So.
Oh my gosh.
Since she stuck around for the whole time, Raj, we'll give Sadie one more.
Raj, your viewpoint sucks. This victory has to go to Herb.
I clicked the wrong one, Raj. Sorry. I clicked that was all. We'll give her props.
All right.
Hey guys, just wanted to jump in and say War Eagle. What a great win. Can't wait for the rematch in Nelville on March 8th. And by the way, just want to remind you of our starting lineup since y'all forgot. So who beat y'all? Oh, Chris Moore, Janai Broom, Denver Jones, Dylan Cardwell. Just want to make sure y'all remember all this. And Miles Kelly. Oh, and don't forget about CBM off the bench. Oh, and Todd. Just make sure y'all got their names right this time. War Eagle, bye.
We lost to a team with a kid named Denver Jones on the team.
I mean, that's a cool name, though. I can get down with that.
Denver Jones?
Yes, I like that name.
They got to call.
That's the least. They got to call. No, there's too many DJs.
Oh,
every other person you know out there is a DJ. So I'm down with it.
Yes, gotcha.
All right, Rodg.
Yep.
Another great show.
Awesome show.
Mostly
awesome
thanks
show.
to me, but and the commenters. But you did your part.
Yes.
So.
Shout out to everybody in the comments. And shout out to Sadie again for showing up in the comments.
There you go. Yeah, appreciate it. So Sadie's been itching to get on the show, and I was you got one requirement: you got to at least watch one show before you come.
Hey, I threw it out there. So hey, before the next Iron Bowl of hoops, we got to get Sadie on the show so we can talk.
All right. So she knows when the show is. We'll do it. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, the comments make the show. We had a great time. Thank you to my niece, a very impartial judge.
Thanks a lot, Jody.
Just happened to pick me with no bribery involved. Appreciate everybody. We'll be back next week. Not sure exactly what's up. Oh, Sadie says she already accepts. So
awesome.
Mike's invited back to the house for the rematch.
Oh yeah,
that's fine.
Of course.
But and Sadie she'll check it out just for you, Rodg.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, we'll be back here next week to cover whatever comes to mind and whatever comes up. We might just talk about LeBron for a whole hour. An hour being longer than he wanted to play this weekend because of old man ankles or something like that. So we're gonna leave you this week with a positive note from the brothers, in case you haven't seen it.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in
Don't worry. Next week we will bring back Mike singing at the stadium. So that'll be
awesome.
So,
awesome.
And Sadie, you definitely need a channel, man, especially for you.
Yes.
So appreciate everybody. Everybody have a wonderful night. We will catch up with y'all next week. Again, look out for videos throughout the week. And if you don't catch anything, please catch Rodg's top 5 every week coming out on Saturdays at 11 a.m. So Mike is already excited about us playing some more of his singing next week. So
I can see Mike's on. No. So yes, he's excited.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Love you guys all. Everyone have a wonderful night. And as always,
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.